Welcome back to Parking Lot Takes. That's Brandon. I'm Christian.
Warfare might be over, but the conversation just started.
Whoop, whoop.
Give me a little clink clink.
All right, to lay out what we're going to be talking about.
Yes.
So we're going to do the Warfare review first because it's heavy.
Yeah, we need to get those thoughts out there first.
Yeah, I can't leave it for fun and then come back to it. So
we can't end on that note.
So we're going to talk about Warfare. We're going to get into two fun little questions I prepped for you, and then we're going to do a Lord of the Rings bracket.
I like it. It's going to be heavy on the front end, fun on the back end.
Sure, yeah, for us.
We just got out of Warfare. We saw an early showing tonight, so we want to give all of our thoughts. This is a unique one to say, like, non-spoiler spoiler review. You know what I mean? With kind of the nature of this movie.
Yeah. So let's try not spoil anything.
So yeah, I think we can.
I don't
pretty
think
easily not spoil.
I don't think we
this.
have to spoil it at all.
No.
Yeah.
But just because it's based around real events, it's funny to say that
sure.
like, oh, we're gonna do non-spoiler spoiler. But yeah, I don't think we have to spoil anything on this at all. Okay. We saw it in IMAX.
Yep.
What a ride.
Yeah. You should. Everyone needs to see it in IMAX.
Absolutely go see this in IMAX. That is going to be the best way to experience this movie for a number of reasons.
Hands down.
You want to go ahead and rate it?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think I've got my lock.
Okay.
All right, I'll count us down. You give me yours first, and then I'll do mine.
Okay.
Ready? All right. This is our rating and review for Warfare. 3, 2, 1.
9 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
So we're close.
Yeah, we are close.
I think it is interesting what breaks it into 10 out of 10 for me, but keeps it out of 10 out of 10 for you. This is the most realistic war film I think you could probably ever experience. I think that if that's what you're looking for, it's a 10 out of 10. That's what I was looking for in this movie, and it delivers on that front absolutely. I don't want to say that I came out of this movie and it was a very enjoyable experience. I was not smiling per se, but it definitely experientially left me very satisfied with what I kind of wanted to see out of this type of movie, because the trailers pitched it very realistic. The writer, director, along with Alex Garland, Ray Mendoza is an Iraqi war veteran, so they're very much pitching it this way, right? From the marketing, this is going to be a realistic experience, and they absolutely 10 out of 10 deliver on that experience. 100%.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think.
It's heavy. I don't know. I can't give it the 10 out of 10 because I just think I like some other war movies more, only because of the narrative.
Yeah.
This doesn't have a narrative. There's no narrative. And really. I struggle saying this is a 10 out of 10 movie because I think it is a 10 out of 10 experience. I think this is an experience hands down first, movie second. I think the purpose of this is to bring you as close as you can to that event.
Yeah.
Without actually being there.
Yeah.
And I think you feel it. My jaw hurts. My ears hurt.
My chest hurts.
My chest hurts.
It is.
I've been clenching my jaw for 2 hours. I felt like I held my breath for 2 hours the whole time. They nail tension. It's so tense from the beginning.
Everybody says visceral.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's at any second in the movie, rounds could be cracking. Like, any second, there's never like a moment when I feel like there couldn't, like in the next second, a round couldn't go through a window.
There's moments where you think you're going to get a break, and things calm down, but atmospherically they don't, if that makes sense. Like a character calms down for a moment, but the atmosphere that you're in is still very much there, where you feel like gunshot's going to come through that window at any moment. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yeah. And you can sit with some moments where there's some dialogue and things like that, but gosh, you just sit in that tension for 2 freaking hours. And I hesitate to say it, but like, I love that about the movie. I love the immersion of that. I mean, technically, this is a masterpiece as far as sound design, shots, practicality. Like, it's very, very good. I mean, seeing this in IMAX, I mean, when you hear those first gunshots go off, it's panic-inducing because it's so loud. They chose to really dial it up, and you can hear it like surround sound. It's coming from the left, it's coming from the right, it's coming from behind you, and that is so intense. It's just a theater experience.
Yeah.
But it's technically incredible. Sure. Like, the sound design is a character alongside these soldiers. It's carrying you through their experience.
Absolutely.
So incredibly well.
I really liked. The sound design is excellent. And one of the things I noted was like you could just hear all the shells hit the floor.
Yes.
Pretty neat.
I did notice that. At one point I noticed it.
Pretty unique, I think. That usually you're listening, you can hear the shells hitting the floor.
In most movies, I think when you hear the shells hitting the floor, it's like they slow it down, the sound cuts out. It's like a more dramatic moment, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's not that. It's just they're firing rounds and you can hear the shells hitting the ground in the atmosphere.
More so, there's a point in the movie when everyone becomes hyper distorted.
Yeah.
And is that the right word? Distorted?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, distorted. The sound design for the bullets and the firing there was my favorite.
So unique.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just sound muffled. Like, it is very muffled in those moments. It gives you kind of the sense of your ears are ringing. But the choice that they made, it was different than what I feel like, experienced in other movies from just a muffled gunshot. Like, they really tried to dive into, if your head was ringing, this is what it would sound like. And it again, I haven't really experienced that, so I don't really know. But just from my experience in watching other movies, I'm like, oh, this feels like it might be the closest to what that would sound like.
Sure.
And to the credit, if the writer and director has been through scenarios like that, I don't really know his history, so I don't want to necessarily add to it. But as a veteran, he may have gone through some of those scenarios, so he would have a really good way to kind of creatively replicate that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's part of it as well. But yeah, some good stuff.
It's all real time. That's pretty neat. So when they're telling you 10 minutes out,
you're 10 minutes out. You're going to
experience those 10 minutes waiting for help.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. That it's just an experience.
It is.
Like, it's just, that's what it is.
It's a tough watch.
It's an experience. It's a 2-hour roller coaster. Like,
and it's brutal.
Yeah.
I will say it's definitely not a movie for just anyone to go watch and think you're going to experience a good time. Like, you really got to prepare yourself for what this is and experience it for what it is. But you're not going to leave probably with a big smile on your face. No. It's not like a lot of other war movies where, like, by the end of it, you still feel kind of good. You feel like that patriotism. You feel whatever, they're trying to kind of invoke. It's not like that. It's you are experiencing what these soldiers are going through for 2 hours, and the movie ends.
Yeah. I'd say if you liked 13 Hours, Lone Survivor, and you want to step up, that's what this is.
Yeah.
This is just up in that notch, stepping it up a little bit.
Yeah. Because, like, there's a couple moments where it's, like, kind of funny. There's just, like, some camaraderie there. Like, 13 Hours, I think there's some funny moments between characters. Like, there's some really good dialogue between them. And this one, it's all just business, basically. Like, early on in the movie, there's a couple moments where it's kind of funny, but once it kicks in, it's just intense, all business, straight through. So it's a little panic-inducing. It can kind of overwhelm you at times. There's a couple moments where I was getting a little overwhelmed by it.
We're gonna remain unspoiler, but there is a solid hour of the movie is just people screaming.
Yeah. And
like in the background.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to keep experiencing because you think you're going to get a break from it, but you don't.
Yeah.
And you don't get a break from some of these certain moments, and then other things are happening, adjacent to it that are also very stressful. So it really does, it kind of culminates, without giving spoilers, there's just one scene kind of towards the end where I just remember feeling like this is a lot. Like I'm feeling it in my chest. Like, and I think that's what they're going for.
Right.
So kudos to them. I mean, they executed it perfectly. But it definitely, your chest gets a little tight, your eyes are welling up a little bit, and it can be hard to watch at times. Absolutely.
It's very reminiscent. We talked about The Outpost.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
It feels just like that on steroids.
Yeah, it feels like the scene in The Outpost where he's trapped in the Humvee. Mm-hmm. It feels like that, but for a full 2 hours. Because like in The Outpost, they're assaulted. You get a little break. They're assaulted. You get a little break. And then they kind of got your third act. And that all is very intense and very stressful. This one, just the way they lay the atmosphere out, you don't feel like you're really getting a clear break in it, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is very much like The Outpost in that way. It's tough for me to say things like a 10 out of 10 because when people say 10 out of 10, typically it's like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest movie. Like this is positive, like all positive. But you don't come out of this with positive feelings per se.
There's nothing negative to say.
There's nothing negative to say. Your feelings are just not on a high like I came out of, Into the Spider-Verse or something along those lines.
I personally will probably never watch this ever again. Like out of really wanting to, I think there will come a time when I will have forgotten a lot and want to revisit it.
Yeah.
But it won't be like a movie where it's in theaters and I'm like, when this comes out for purchase, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to watch it. I don't think that's going to happen for me. I think years down the line, I'll see it and be like, oh yeah, let me watch that again.
And then it will hit again. Yeah. I honestly, I kind of do want to see it in theaters again, but I don't want to see it like alone. I kind of want to bring...
I'm not going with you.
That's fine. I kind of like want to see what other people think from the experience. I came out of it thinking, I wonder if I could see it again, bring someone who hasn't seen it, and just see what they think.
What do you think is going to be different?
I don't know. Just different perspectives, Would somebody... Because we're close on it. Would somebody experience that and go, yeah, I don't like that at all, just because of how anxiety-inducing it is? You know what I mean? Like, for example, I was thinking about Audrey would not like this movie.
Yeah.
Now, I think she would recognize that technically it's really good, but I think she would come out of it and go, I wish I did not watch that. It's too overwhelming.
I see.
So outside of her, I'm thinking like of other friends I have or other people that I would say like, I'm curious to see what you would think from this. So
it's challenging.
Yeah, it is. And I wonder how certain people I know would feel after kind of experiencing that challenge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only reason I would say I would be curious to watch it again and experience it with someone else. On my own, I don't think I would really want to, but I would be curious what other people say. That's really the only scenario.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. These movies that just really immerse you with an event, like these war films, that's what I like the most, I think, is I want realism. Like, I want to feel like I'm immersed in it. And while I love, like, a Saving Private Ryan or a Hacksaw Ridge, and you've got some really good characters and good story, and there's some real heart to it, this is kind of the war film experience that I look for in a lot of these more modern set war films. And it just executes it the best, I think.
I agree with you. It's about as realistic as you can get.
Absolutely.
From a perspective of someone who was not there.
My experience is just from other movies I've seen.
Yeah.
I think that this is technically probably the closest or the most realistic. Just more so just because you can tell that he paid attention to a lot of the details. The shells hitting the ground, the sound design of it. It seems like he put a little bit more. But again, I have no experience with it, so I don't really know. I can't say so much.
There's a lot in here that's in there because someone in the weird moments of having their just world rocked,
yeah,
notice something random.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like shells.
It just sticks out into
the sound
the brain.
of the shells
Yeah.
hitting the ground.
Yeah.
There's a lot there because it's compiled based on the memories of the soldiers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in here that I think is probably comes purely something they randomly noticed in the shock of it all.
Yeah.
That's in here. Like, that one moment when they're trying to do the thing and it gets stuck. You know, and he has to call for help, like something like that.
It's a very specific detail for you to focus on.
Probably definitely happened.
Absolutely happened, yeah.
And was something that they recalled from that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's great. Everyone should definitely go see it if that's their thing.
Yeah, I would definitely say be warned. Like it's an intense watch. There's definitely some grotesque moments in it that are a little tough to stomach. So yeah, you kind of got to be prepared for that. Don't be expecting a fun, lighthearted watch. Just like or just like a action movie that's really thrilling and kind of fun. Like it's a tough watch.
Yeah. Cast is great. Will Poulter, really Joseph Quinn.
Man, I've come around on Will Poulter. When he was in Narnia, I used to think he was the most annoying kid.
Yeah. And Maze Runner.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. But in recent years, man, he's really come back and done some good stuff. But yeah, it's a really good cast. They do a really good job. Oh my gosh. What I notice is it's a lot of younger actors that are just now kind of getting into the really big mainstream stuff. Like Will Poulter, Joseph Quinn, the actor who plays Elliot is in Shogun. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, okay. So like, it's a lot of these people who are just kind of getting their footing into Hollywood and doing some bigger stuff.
Sure.
And it's really cool to kind of see all of them in the same movie kind of bouncing off each other. But yeah, good movie. Definitely watch this in IMAX. It's worth the experience. But be warned.
Yeah, I would say so.
That's Warfare.
It's very good. How's it rank? It's number 1 for you?
Yeah, it's just over Black Bag
for this
me.
year. Yeah, this is number 2 for me under Black Bag.
To be honest, I am curious to see how I feel by the end of the year. When I've seen all the movies and I'm coming up with my ranking, I'm curious to see if I will bring this down to like a 9 out of 10 or... Because sometimes what I find him and when I'm putting my list is I'm like, gosh, I have a hard time like rating it this high. Maybe it does need to come down a little bit to kind of more justify the list. When we get Superman, when we get some other stuff, I'll be curious to see where it falls.
Yeah, I'd say
I don't think it'll stay 1 forever.
Sure. For Warfare, it's more of an appreciation thing than it is an enjoyment thing.
Yeah.
So how much you can just appreciate the effort that went into making this.
Mm-hmm. The technical aspect.
The technical aspect. Also just appreciating our men and women who serve our country.
Yeah,
I think that's a big emotion that I felt, being very emotional, just like being like, wow, what these people go through for our country is just so beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's just a beautiful, like, just sacrifice I totally feel like I take for granted.
Yeah.
Or most people probably do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just what they're going for.
Yeah.
Versus something that's supposed to entertain you. I don't think it's like entertaining.
No.
You're appreciating.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. But it's definitely worth seeing. It's so heavy, bro.
Yeah.
And I want to leave it. Like, I want to, like, be done with it, even though, like, I know tonight I'm going to have an anxiety nightmare about it. It's like,
yeah.
But it's fantastic.
It's an experience I think I will be thinking about a lot over the next couple days. Definitely.
Yep.
Worth a watch, though. Yep. Go see it. Yeah, it's number 1 for me right now for the year. I mean, if it's 10 out of 10, it's going to be pretty high.
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to say something because I thought about it when I said this movie really challenged me, which was Warfare. Mm-hmm. You know what's got me more pumped about Doomsday than the cast or Robert Downey Jr.?
Mm-hmm. What?
So, something I have just felt is so lacking in movies is I don't feel challenged at all anymore in movies.
You mean...
I don't feel stretched.
Okay.
Like, as an audience member, as a person sitting there, I feel like it's given to me on I'm being spoon fed. Brave New World was like that so much
exposition. It's just like, hey, here's what's happening.
Yeah,
now
telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah,
I don't feel like stretched or
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
challenged, kind of like mentally. I think that's why people really like Nolan films, right? Because it kind of forces you to engage and forces you to kind of like think through what's happening. You know what I mean?
So an example, the biggest example I think of is Gladiator 2.
As not being challenged?
No.
Yeah.
Not being challenged. Like, not challenging its audience at all.
That's fair.
Because I think they had an opportunity to do something very interesting with Pedro Pascal and Paul Mescal's... Paul Mescal,
yeah.
Their dynamic had... Spoilers, I guess, if you haven't seen it. But Pedro Pascal, an archer, takes out Paul Mescal's wife in the movie, and that's what sets him on the path to collide with Pedro Pascal. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I personally don't understand that because he has no issues with the Caesars or the emperors.
Yeah.
So he has no issues with them, but he has an issue with Paul Mescal because it's his army that he's leading, but he's also leading it because of the emperors. Yeah. So I would think Paul Mescal would have more of an issue with the emperors.
Yeah.
But I think what I'm getting at is that they should have just had Pedro Pascal kill his wife.
Yeah. Not the archer.
And not the random archer. Mm-hmm. Even though Pedro Pascal is a protagonist in the movie. Yes. I think that's challenging your audience. Yes. That would be an example of that. And they just don't do it. And I think to avoid that, because it's like, no, but he's a good guy. Well, yeah, he still killed a bunch of people. Yeah. Like... everyone he killed in that battle is the same. It's just that that random person just happens to have a huge connection to the main character. I think if we have audiences could have compartmentalized that and been like, yeah, it's battle. That she would have killed Pedro Pascal if he had let her.
Yeah, so it's almost like it's not justified, but like in a way you say, oh, I know why Pedro would have done that because he's trying to protect himself. Yeah. Of course he would order them to do that. He's not going to let this
random archer kill him. He's there waging war against his will and what he wants.
It's his life too.
Right. That's what I mean, not being challenged. Yeah. So, all that to say, what people should be more excited about than Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom or the fact that the X-Men and the Doomsday casting announcement is the fact that the Russo brothers said that one of the first updates we got about the movie was we found a way into the story and we think it's going to challenge audiences. So that has got me into the movie more than anything else, is that the Avengers Doomsday is going to challenge me as a consumer of content, as an audience member, as a fan, as a lover of movies and cinema. That's to me is cooler than any of the casting stuff.
How do you think he's going to like challenge an audience with an Avengers movie? You think he's
no idea.
I'm curious if he means, but like pitting characters against each other. I mean, causing you to like, as an audience member, to experience kind of like a moral dilemma, like
moral dilemma. Infinity War challenges his audience. Endgame, I think, challenges its audience as well. Something like that.
Yeah,
it's just lacking.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like No Way Home does as well with how they leave Peter. Yeah, I think they could do and Matt May. So No Way Home definitely. Guardians 3 challenges its audience.
Absolutely.
Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't, but that's not what it's going for.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that'd be an example. Like that movie doesn't challenge you at all. Yeah, it's just fun.
It's just fun, and but it knows in its DNA that's what it's for. But when you have some of the more like serious ones recently, Brave New World, something like that. Not necessarily that they're trying to challenge us, but they go the opposite direction of we want to make sure that we're just going to spew it all to you and you just experience it. So it's like they don't even just let you kind of follow along. They're just exposition dumping on you. Right. So, but yeah, Guardians 3 is a good one I would think of recently that would challenge you from the MCU, and it does.
You know what made me think about this? I saw a Zack Snyder interview where he said, I wanted to challenge my audience by having Batman kill.
Oh, and wow.
Yeah. Nope. You didn't accomplish that.
Yeah, because the discourse with that is not necessarily like them trying to justify his actions. It's just...
He just does it.
Yeah, and people are just either they like it or they don't.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really challenge anyone. I would.
No, had he like killed had like Gotham, because like I guess people seem to think he was retired before Man of Steel. I've heard a few people say that. I don't think that's the case.
So, in the beginning of Batman v Superman, aren't there like the newspaper articles that say like the Bat's back or something like that?
Maybe, I don't remember.
I think there is something.
Had the story been Batman snapped and literally just
murking people,
killed the Joker,
and Superman
killed
notices
all the villains, and like there was peace. And then Superman shows up and he's like, well, here's one more I got to take down.
Yeah.
That's challenging me.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I'm having to, like, you're stretching me as a lover of this character. Yeah. You're stretching me in a different way. Mm-hmm. Versus being like, yeah, I made Batman kill. Like, yeah, I did that. But you didn't.
He's killing low-level thugs.
It has nothing to do with the story. Like, it doesn't bear... If Batman didn't kill anybody in the movie would still be the same.
Yeah.
So... that doesn't count. But
I know what you're saying.
That's what it made me think about.
Yeah.
All right,
sweet. That's a good thought there. I like that.
Moving on. I want you. Well, hang on. Before we do this, I have a question for you. So I just finished Defenders. And I was looking in a interview, and Finn Jones, who played Danny Rand, Iron Fist, in Defenders and Iron Fist show, is expressed interest in wanting to come back.
As Iron Fist.
As Iron Fist in the MCU. And he was basically like, you guys got to give me a chance. What do you think about that?
No.
Yeah.
I do, here's what I'll say. I do see a world where he could be a good Iron Fist. I think it exists out there. I just don't want it to be in mine.
Sure.
I want something new, fresh, done right. I'm a little too tainted.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I feel that way. I feel like he had his shot.
He had a lot of time to do that.
And I'm going to say this because whether you want to blame the writing or not, Matt Murdock is still fantastic in Defenders.
Absolutely.
Jessica Jones is still fantastic in Defenders. You have the opportunity there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So how come these actors do well?
Mm-hmm. In different writing scenarios.
But you don't.
Yeah.
And you guys are in the same show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's completely your fault. Now, I agree. His show is terrible.
Yes. Yeah.
Worse than his portrayal. But I don't think his acting's very good. No. I don't think his physicality is good. Now, apparently that was on purpose, but at the same time, in the same show, how is the fight choreography for Charlie Cox leagues better than Iron Fist? To me, that's just maybe the limitations on what Finn Jones can do.
Yes.
So that, to me, is what that feels like. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. Now, I think he looks like Danny Rand.
Yeah,
he does look the part, especially now. I've looked at him recently.
Oh, really? I haven't actually.
He looks more so like it now.
Yeah.
But I personally feel like I think you had your shot to do your best with what you had, and I still don't think it came through.
Yeah, and Defenders is a good example of that. He could have really tried to do something a little bit different, change it up, try to elevate the character, and it's just more of the same. So that's why I don't want him
to get hate. Like, I feel like he's saying that from a sense of like, everyone's giving me hate. And
give me a shot and let me really prove it.
Right. That's
fine.
I want that for you. I would just rather see another portrayal. I feel that way with Luke Cage as well. I
don't feel that way with Luke Cage.
See, I do. I think
he's perfect Luke Cage. I think he embodies Luke Cage.
No. I don't think so.
Why don't you think so?
I think Luke Cage is very boring. The show.
Okay, I'm talking about him portraying Luke Cage.
I still don't think that.
Why don't you think his portrayal of Luke Cage
I don't
is
know.
not interesting?
I should read more Luke Cage comics. I'm just telling you, his, like, Charlie Cox's Daredevil was the first experience I had into Daredevil, and literally made me Daredevil become one of my favorite characters of all time. Yeah. Jessica Jones had the same effect. I think there's another Luke Cage out there. I don't think there's another Jessica Jones and Charlie Cox out there.
So I agree with you. I think Charlie Cox embodies Matt Murdock more than, I can't remember the actor's name who does Luke Cage, but I think his portrayal of Luke Cage is a very good portrayal of Luke Cage. It's different than some of the comics. I'm not gonna pretend to say I've read all the Luke Cage comics. I think I've read like one, maybe two. I've read some Defenders stuff with him in it. That because after I watched Defenders, I kind of wanted to get into that, and so I've read a little bit where he's just in there. But I feel like in the show, for what he's trying to do, I think it works. I think he does a good job. I like that he's stoic. He's a little funny sometimes. He feels like a man of the people. I think he works.
I think he does a good job. I'm not saying he doesn't do a good job. I just think I don't feel that way about him. Like I feel like Jessica Jones and Matt.
I think if Luke Cage came back into the MCU and he played Luke Cage, I'd 100% be down and be excited.
I would too. I also just wouldn't be crushed if they decided to do something else.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't per se either. I would probably be a little disappointed because I think it'd be cool to let him do a little bit more, because I think he shows so much potential in his first season specifically, and I think the writing really hurts it in kind of the back half of season 1 and season 2. So I think he really has some great moments that if he had a little bit better writing, he could really shine as Luke Cage.
I like Laz Alonso. Mother's Milk from The Boys. I think there's other actors. Like I do. I just think there are other people that can do it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's just not I think he does a good job. I also I think he's boring. If you watch Defenders, they literally have to make him Matt Murdock to give him to make him interesting. They give him Matt Murdock's morality instead of it being Charlie Cox's.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want innocent people to die. This isn't how I work. Innocent people getting hurt. I'm like, yeah, Matt feels that same way. But we have to write this in so you're interesting.
Yeah.
I to me, just from the show, I don't know anything about the comic. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he does a good job. I'm sure people wouldn't love it this much if it's not good. I'm just saying I think there's other actors who are up to that task.
Yeah. I think there are some, who could portray it well.
Physicality-wise, is not Luke Cage, it's just, you don't think it's boring?
So I think season 2 is kind of boring.
But, I'm talking about all the action. It's all just him, getting shot at, cool, you're bulletproof.
Yeah, but
I'm strong. Pushing you,
but that's the point. It's not.
Is that Luke Cage from comics?
Yeah,
really,
he's just a brute. Okay. He's just a brute from what I know. He's just a brute. He's invincible. He's not meant to be. He's a brawler, not a well choreographed fighter like Daredevil. That's why in a Defender setting, I thought he was
a boxer.
No? I think he might be.
Isn't he a fighter?
He might be.
I thought he was some sort of fighter.
He is a fighter. Yeah, I think he is a fighter.
So I just feel like it's just it's a one-trick pony,
but not a martial arts fighter. That's why I say he's a brawler. So it's just, he's meant to be big, strong, invincible brute. I think it works in the show because he's meant to be just kind of a ground level street brawler, not necessarily a well choreographed fighter, martial arts fighter like a Daredevil, like a Iron Fist. And so I never thought it's not interesting as far as he doesn't have a lot of moments where I'm oh, that's so sick. But when he is fighting, I'm oh, I feel the power. I feel the weight behind his punches. I think that's cool. Does that make sense?
Okay.
That's just kind of how I feel from watching it. And even with Punisher, Punisher is a great fighter. But not a very, how do I describe it? He's not a flashy fighter. You know what I mean? He's not a...
Yeah, I think that's going to work against your point.
Why?
Because Jon Bernthal sells everything every bit more than the guy who plays Luke Cage.
Yes.
Hands down.
My comparison is that Jon Bernthal is feels more like a brawler than he does a martial artist.
Right, but I'm saying to your point,
Punisher does it better. Yes.
No, but I'm to that point. Then yeah, I don't think that actor does a good job on the Luke Cage end. Then
I think Punisher does it better, but I think the actor who plays Luke Cage does it just fine for what his character is.
But you just said they're like the same.
I'm saying they're both brawlers in their fight style, but I'm saying John Bernthal I think does it better. I think I feel it more, but I think Luke Cage's character or actor does it well also.
Okay.
Not as good. I don't think he does it well, but I think he does it well.
I think it's just the same thing over and over again. I'm going to walk up, my hoodie's going to get all shot up,
yeah.
And I'm going to take a bunch of bullets, and I'm going to shove you, I'm going to break something, so you remember I'm strong. That's how it feels to me, versus like something like Jessica Jones, where she's more like using abilities to protect herself. She's not openly getting into a ton of fights, so it's just not the same. Like, it's just not that story element where I feel like that's a big story element and they just didn't get it right.
Yeah.
And you can put that on the show. But I still think like in the same show, all of Matt's stuff is great. So why isn't Luke Cage is a little bit more than just throwing this guy, shoving this guy, pushing this guy down, getting shot, shoving that guy. Like, to me, that's just like, it's not the same as when like Frank Castle in a bar, some random guy's like, yo, leave this guy alone, and Frank just uppercuts him, grabs him, and shoves him down and goes, oh, and wants the next guy to come. So like,
it's just a difference in the characters though too. You gotta like know that Luke Cage is not out there grinding, freaking criminals to a pulp. Like, that's not his character. So for Frank, of course, he's gonna have a whole lot more opportunities to really fight, really showcase it, and I think he does it better. But like, Luke Cage's character is not meant to be that aggressive like the Punisher.
No, I agree. Yeah, that's a good point, and you are
like,
right.
The whole character arc is that like he doesn't want to, but he's kind of forced to be a hero in Harlem, and he kind of steps up to the role.
Sure, I think maybe I think if you just. I would say if they did one thing, and that one thing was, getting shot should hurt.
Yeah.
Him more than it does, because he gets shot with shotguns and then it hurts. Mm-hmm. But
they're special though.
What?
The bullets in those shotguns are different. No, they break through his skin.
No,
right?
No. He gets shot in the head with a shotgun and it like concusses him.
I understand about it.
And so while I understand that's more force. If that's going to be the effect, then I think you should just do the whole thing as, yeah, I can get shot. I don't like it, though. It feels like getting shot with a normal person getting hit with a rubber bullet. To me, that just makes... Okay, then that makes all the fight scenes a little bit more dynamic. Where it's like, I'm not going to die from this. Like, I'll be okay. But I also don't want to just get lit up by a... MP5
for the show. They can do that. If they want to portray it like the comics, they can't do that because he's like fully bulletproof.
Yes,
taking him in the comics. So I think they were leaning towards that,
right?
Rather than the realism of it.
But then it's just not interesting because everything is, I'm just gonna walk. I'm bulletproof.
Yeah,
suckers. It's just not.
I just think they leaned into that a lot more
sure.
than maybe what you would have liked. You think it would have been a little bit more interesting to do that way. I guess I think it would have
made the fight scenes more interesting, or you need the actor to
do something to
sell the fights a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but it's hard when it's all super strength stuff, and I'm agreeing with
all
you.
All powers, yeah,
and it's all So
and he's also not necessarily trying to fight. He's trying to just get done what he needs to.
I think I like that point the best.
Yeah.
So in that character quality, I'll give it to you that guy does a good job. But also, I think in Defenders, he's incredibly annoying because he acts like he's the only one with a conscience. and it's like, okay, buddy, cool. Mm-hmm. And they kind of let him have it because that's all he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like and Matt, I think, does Luke Cage ever kill anybody?
That's a good question. I'm trying to remember. I think he does at some point.
I don't remember, but to this point, they want to make this weird point in Defenders with him, and he just comes across so annoying because literally he's like, how could you just beat up on someone who's just trying to make money for their family, Danny? Yeah. And Danny decides to conveniently, through plot armor, not omit the fact that person was spraying dead bodies who were murdered with acid to decompose them. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, he just in Defenders is so annoying. Yeah. Now his stuff with Jessica Jones is so good. Mm-hmm. But he just, I think next to Matt, none of them pale in comparison. So none of them can be as virtuous, in a way. So they had to like make Daredevil keep all these secrets and like make Luke Cage the conscious and and maybe he's like that. I don't know. I should read more, I guess. I just personally am not like, I don't want to see anyone play Jessica Jones. I don't want to see anyone else play. And if they, Matt Murdock, but if they decided to recast Luke Cage, I don't know that I would be crushed. But I like the points you've brought up, and I think it is selling me more. Had John Bernthal not done what he had done, he would have been interesting.
True.
He would have been huge.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. Would have been cool. Either way.
But I don't want to see Finn Jones come back as Iron Fist, personally. No. To bring it all back to our question.
No.
I think he had a shot.
I think he had all the shots like he could have had. I really don't know what else he could have... trying to get this in there.
Yeah. And I think they could do some really interesting stuff with the current MCU. Especially now that we have Shang-Chi and we have some characters that do that kind of style very well. I think we could see something really cool. We'll see. They probably will bring him back. I bet you they're going to bring him back.
Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Do this bracket?
Let's do it.
So this is going to be a Lord of the Rings moments bracket. We have only talked about Lord of the Rings...
a little bit.
Once.
Yeah, once.
And we've had a lot of requests to talk about it more. Mm-hmm. So I already told you the first matchup, and we already did say what we were choosing. But for funsies, we're going to do... So it was the Fellowship of the Ring, when the Fellowship meets together in Rivendell. Mm-hmm. Not when the Fellowship's formed, but the Council of Rivendell, that moment. Sorry, but the moment from Fellowship of the Ring. But the Council of Rivendell, that scene. Versus Denethor trying to sacrifice Faramir on the pyre. When Pippin comes in and saves him. And we both said
the Council
of Rivendell.
Yeah, I think it's still... Okay. I think it still beats... Good scenes, but still beats it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, next one is going to be Shelob, when she, up Frodo. And then Sam comes in with the sword. Back away, you filth.
I don't like Shelob.
Yeah, you don't like spiders. But it's versus Bilbo's birthday party when he's telling everybody, I've put this on for far too long, and the ring on it disappears.
Not because of Sheila, but I think I would give the birthday party.
Really?
I just love that moment.
Over Sam?
Just when Bilbo, the actor's performance in that moment, I think is so interesting.
I'm going to give it to it because...
He gets serious, and it's like he's got this inner turmoil, and he's really toying with it, and then when it happens, it's such a great moment for the Bilbo character, because we don't get a lot from Bilbo. It's such a good moment that his performance just tells you so much about what's going on internally, and I love that. I'll give it to Bilbo. I mean, I think the Sam stuff with Shelob is still very good.
I'm gonna give it to that because there's no way there's not a certain Sam moment, and that's gonna beat that moment. So
yeah,
we'll make it interesting.
Yes.
All right, the Nazgul when Frodo gets stabbed by the cursed blade. That whole sequence when Aragorn comes in,
when they're up on the
The ruins.
The ruins, yes.
I don't remember the name of the castle, but they're up there.
Mm-hmm.
The hobbits are fighting. Frodo gets stabbed, and Aragorn shows up and starts murking people. That's going up against the final scene in The Return of the King when Gandalf, Frodo, and Bilbo all sail off to Valinor.
I love that scene up on the ruins, but I don't think it can beat the final scene.
See, I agree with you.
Oh, that's such a tough choice.
This is the first time we're like really seeing Aragorn fight.
Yes, it is.
And he fights all of the Nazgul, which is crazy.
And it's so sick. It's a crucial moment for what Frodo's going to go through, being stabbed, experiencing the what is it? Not the Shadow Realm. What is the dimension? Is it the Shadow Realm? No, that's Yu-Gi-Oh.
The Wraith World.
Wraith World, yes, yeah.
Realm.
But there's so much emotion behind the final scene.
Yeah.
It makes you want to cry every time. If you watch these 3 movies back to back, by the time you get to that moment, there's so much joy. There's so much like heart. Like how do I put that over it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's Bilbo and Frodo are sailing to Valinor with Gandalf to find peace because they'll never truly know peace because they'll always have a want for the ring. And so they'll never truly understand peace and the toll that the ring takes, and that's the culmination of them be-ridding that.
Like,
which
are we
I think
counting
is just
seeing
huge.
Sam like married and all that? Like that's I have to give it to that.
I like that
it's
too.
It's such a beautiful.
I'm just trying not to agree.
I know.
It is an interesting one. Huh. Frodo holding the ring over the fire. Sam's like, throw it in the fire.
Yeah.
Be rid of it.
Yeah.
No, Sam.
No, Sam.
The ring is mine. That moment versus Gandalf showing up at Battle of Helm's Deep with the Riders of Rohan.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what a great moment. Oh my gosh.
I think it's Rohan.
If I'm thinking specifically just within that moment between Sam and Frodo, important moment, but the Riders of Rohan's better.
Oh, now that I'm thinking about it,
it feels better.
So this moment in the books is basically Tolkien saying that is this huge allegory for the fact that we can never truly be rid of temptation and that we always will need the help of God is what that scene means. So it's like the extra context of that scene and what it means is the fact that like you'll never be able to do it alone.
Yeah.
And that culminates with Gollum and Gollum being a part of the plan because they know Frodo will fail. And there's a lot of context. This is like stuff you are not going to get from the movie, but because I've read the books in the Silmarillion, the god of Middle Earth is this plan. That's why Gandalf allows Gollum to follow them in the Fellowship. Is because there's this notion that Gollum has this part to play. So that's a culmination of everything you've had through the 3 movies. Frodo's coming to the point. And
it's a big character moment.
He can't do it on his own.
Yeah,
and
he needs.
And it's an important lesson. But I don't know.
I think here's what I'll say. I think if I'm going for really good character developed moment, I'm gonna give it to Sam and Frodo. I think if I'm going for feels epic moment in the film, I'm gonna go to Rohan.
Let's go. Epic moment. Riders, music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stress at the Battle of Helm's Deep. They're losing.
And then you get that joy just like peeks through. It's like, ah.
All right. I love this one. So, Arwen at the river doing her saying her Elvish spell, and the Nazgul are at the riverbank, and she summons the water and takes out the Nazgul, versus the first time when Frodo, Sam, Pippin, and Merry all meet on the road, and Frodo's like, get off the road. And the Nazgul, they do that. Oh, Peter Jackson just cooked with this. The tree, and then the Nazgul just comes off on the horse on the other side of the tree. You never see him pass it from the right. He just comes out on the left. Yes. And then he creeps down and grabs the roots, and they're sitting there underneath it. Oh, that one wins. Can we give it? Absolutely. Don't even argue with me. That one's so good.
Yeah, there's no way. The creativity in that sequence is just so perfect. Oh. Yeah, that's an easy one.
Some of these matchups, I'm like, why are you putting these ones together? So when Aragorn shows up and with Narsil to hold the dead army, the undead army who didn't answer the call to Gondor. Mm-hmm. When he
at the gate, at the Black Gate,
not when that happens. No, because that's not at the Black Gate. That's at not Minas Tirith.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh. It's not Minas Tirith, but it's the city of Gondor. It's Gondor.
It's
yeah. That's where they are. So this is because they're not at the Black Gate. So this is when he basically shows up and he's like, be true to your oath.
Oh yes, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And they're like, nah, bro. Well, extended, depending on which one you watch. Extended, they're like, nah, bro. Yeah, okay, yes.
Okay, fine.
But he blocks the sword, and they're like, what the frick?
Yeah.
Or when the boats roll up and Aragorn gets out and he draws a sword with Gimli and Legolas, and they start charging, and everyone's like, what the heck? And then the undead army comes out from the boats and starts wrecking everybody.
It for sure.
Okay.
Dude, because
they're both good. I don't know. Like, they're both really solid.
Yeah, they're both good Aragorn moments, but when you realize that he has the undead army with him, it's such a just adds so much more to the battle. Like,
Okay, so because it's not even, we're gonna have some like two seed stuff.
Gotcha. Are we in the next round?
We're having a repeat.
Okay. That's such a good. When he brings the undead army, that's such a good moment.
Yeah. So it's going to be the council in Rivendell. It's the Council of Elrond, isn't it?
Yeah.
Council of Rivendell.
But it's just in Rivendell.
In Rivendell. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It might be the Council of Elrond. In Fellowship, or when the Witch King shows up and the ruined city in Gondor on the wyvern or the winged horse as the winged fell beasts.
Yeah,
featherless.
The dragons.
Not the dragons.
I know. You know.
Kind of a wyvern. I think it's technically a
wyvern.
Maybe not. It's not a wyvern. We're not.
I don't think
that.
It is. Is it a worm? Like a worm?
Wyvern is the name, but it's like wyvern are technically dragons have 4 legs. Wyvern, anytime you see a dragon that has its wings a part of its front legs, is technically a wyvern.
And then
the dragons in Game of Thrones
just forget that.
Yeah.
Dragons in
the
Game
Fell
of Thrones?
Beast. We'll call him the Fell Beast.
Yeah.
When he shows up and like calls Frodo, and Frodo holds the ring out, and it's like trying. Yeah.
Is that when they're in Gondor?
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's such a sick entrance for the Witch King versus the Council. I'd probably give it to the Witch King.
Yeah.
Because when he rides up on that thing, that's so epic.
No, I'm not gonna agree with you.
You think I think the Council is a moment.
I will take the Ring to Mordor.
Yeah, it's a pretty important moment.
I think that's better.
I think the Witch King is cooler.
No. When Gimli tries to destroy the ring and breaks his axe.
Yeah.
Now, I got you, because that's this moment when Legolas tells Boromir, he's like, "Be careful who you're talking to. That is Aragorn, son of Arathorn."
Yes.
And then he's like, "Gondor has no king." Like little petty little boy.
Yeah.
And they realize who Aragorn is. Oh man,
the dialogue there is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have to give it to that. That's too important of a moment. I mean, I will stand by that. I think the Witch King, I think that's a really cool moment as far as just like enjoying fantasy elements. But I think for the characters and for the story, I think the council is still better.
Yeah,
let's give it to the council.
Yeah. Isildur's hair.
Yeah, be careful.
Okay, so these are different moments.
Did it like reshuffle them?
No, because there's the initial time that I'm trying to remember, because the Nazgul exit Minas Tirith from Mordor, or that's not Mordor, but Minas Tirith, their capital that they took from Gondor, on the horseback in the first one when they're going to the Shire. Yep. And then there's the moment where they torture Gollum and he says Shire Baggins, that'll lead them here. But those are different. Those are two different timestamps.
Yeah.
So this is like the shot of them leaving on horseback to find Frodo versus Bilbo at the party with his, when he disappears at his 111th birthday. I'm still Bilbo.
Gonna give the Bilbo.
I do. Yeah.
I think just for a character moment, the shot is cool of the Nazgul. Yeah, I mean, all of them riding.
I was gonna be like, I don't know, Shire Baggins, but that's not. Those are different.
I still just think that subtle moment with Bilbo.
Be the same. It might be the same. And I've only watched extended like the last 10 years of my life, so that might be the same moment in the theater cut. I don't remember.
I think it is.
But I know there's two different like.
He says Shire Baggins in the theater cut.
No. But those might be stitched together to be the same moment. Because there's two different moments in the extended.
It's stitched
when they're
together,
like basically they come out and start to ride to the Shire, and then Gandalf gives the context like how they know later on. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Bilbo.
The Gandalf Sauron fight, when they're like twirling each other, breakdancing, or the Battle of Helm's Deep when they're all like staring down at the orcs and the orcs are like chanting, and there's that awesome dialogue of or not dialogue, but there's the Gimli Legolas like, I can't see anything. What's going on? Would you like me to get you a bucket?
The Battle of Helm's Deep, like it's gonna win like most of the time, I think.
So these are moments technically like the Riders of Rohan. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying the whole battle,
right? But the best moment probably from this because it's basically the wall at Battle of Helm's Deep, and everybo's on top of the wall before the fighting starts. So I mean, leading up, there's the dialogue between Gimli and Legolas. There's the moment when the old guy, his finger slips and accidentally shoots one of the orcs. Yeah. I don't know if this is including when the elves show up at Helm's Deep.
It sounds like it's not.
I don't think so. So that's why I kind of want to give it to Gandalf and Sauron, because that reveal is still good. And when he reveals the Planter and Gandalf, so these aren't all accounted for, and it introduces did I say Sauron? I'm a freaking idiot. Saruman introduces Saruman into the story. That's the first time we see him.
You said that, but I knew exactly you were talking about Saruman.
Saruman.
That's funny.
My bad. The White Wizard, Saruman. Yeah. So
it is. Oh my gosh, that's such a good reveal, though. You're right.
I think it beats this specific, because this is not the entire Helm's Deep battle.
Yeah, then if it's not an entire Helm's Deep battle, then it's probably going to go to Gandalf and Saruman. But yeah, if it's honing in on that single moment, it's going to go to Gandalf and Saruman.
Yeah, I already clicked it.
Yeah, I don't see
Frodo. The moment when the eye focuses on Frodo and Sam's like, get down, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he collapses kind of. Mm-hmm. Versus
when they're approaching Mordor.
Mount Doom.
Yeah.
Versus you bow to no one. I know.
You bow to no one.
I know. It's a contender. It's a final four.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm waiting for
this
one.
This is so sick. All right. The sailing to Valinor at the end of Return of the King, or the Frodo. Charging the Black Gate and the armies of Mordor.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
By Valinor. Absolutely it's going to that. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
I do not believe it. They're gonna die. Like, he's like, for Frodo. Only a couple we can give him only a few moments.
The monologue by Aragorn.
And he decapitates the mouth of Sauron.
Yes.
Oh, yeah! That's extended.
That's
you should watch
epic.
extended.
When I discovered the mouth of Sauron for the first time, I thought that was the wildest thing. Yeah, that's too epic of a moment. I mean, the sailing off is so emotional. It's such a good culmination for the movies, but that's a huge moment, because you're right. They think that's it. We're giving up our lives for this. That's so good. Are we? Oh man, maybe I'm waiting for one moment that I feel like.
So this is Gondor calling for aid to Rohan in Return of the King when Pippin lights the fire and does the signals across the mountains. Yeah. That moment, which is good.
Muster the Rohirrim.
Yeah. Versus Gondor calls for aid. Versus Gandalf leading the Riders of Rohan into the Battle of Helm's Deep, which I think wins.
That's going to be the one that wins. Yeah. Iconic moment when he calls for aid, but I think the riding in is better.
Nazgul showing up over the hobbits on the road on the way to the Prancing Pony.
Yeah.
Versus Aragorn hopping off the ship with the undead army.
Aragorn hopping off the ship.
No.
Dude, come on.
No.
I understand.
This is an iconic moment. These are just moments in general.
No. Nazgul moment. It's great.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. But Aragorn coming in with the undead army, come on. That's such a huge
I can
moment.
think for Frodo is a better moment than that one. So I don't want to give it to it.
Yeah, I guess if you were playing the bracket, yeah. But if I'm playing this matchup,
no, this is a better scene. The Nazgul over the hobbits, gripping and they're sitting there, and it's the first time we really see one. And he comes in off of that. It's basically get off the road. They sit down there. They're under the tree, and he just comes into view from behind the tree.
Great.
It's better.
I just think the Aragorn with the undead army is more epic. Like, it's a bigger moment in the franchise. Like, it's a big battle sequence moment.
Yeah, so it's more epic, cool. But I think that scene, that moment is better.
I think the creativity in the moment's better, but I think the showing up with the undead army is cooler and better as far as like a impact and just moment in the story. I think the Nazgul is very isolated, and it's cool because we're kind of experiencing it for the first time. But I think the epic nature of the undead army showing up, I like better. Nazgul,
that's the moment where that's basically introducing the threat of the Nazgul that's going to be a main and like an antagonist across the next 3 movies versus just one moment.
Well, it's still just one moment.
No, that's introducing the Nazgul. Like, this is just a moment in that battle.
And this is just a moment.
No, this is basically Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin for the first time seeing what they're up against. This is the first time they're experiencing what they're involved in.
Yeah,
I think that's bigger than.
Okay, what do you? I don't know what you're saying. Like, bigger moment, like in the story.
It's a better moment. No. Like, I think it's better. Like, I think it's just a better moment. It's better shot. It's better written. It's a cinematic marvel. Like, it's beautiful. He absolutely cooked with it. I don't think you can say he cooked with the moment of the undead army showing up in the boats. I think it's a cool moment, but I'll
say it again. Like, I think the creativity of the shot is better, but I think the nature of the moment between the two of them and the overall story, I think him showing up is such a huge moment in that battle. Towards the end.
No. Because I'm missing a crucial point. This is also the first moment Frodo's tempted by the ring.
If you're gonna go, then what's more important to the story? I'm gonna give you that. Then yes.
That's just a better moment. That's got all these elements. The Nazgul, Merry, Pippin, Sam reaching over, stopping Frodo from putting the ring on, the ring taking Frodo over. I think that's better than...
It's a more crucial moment for the characters in the story, but I think the showing up with the undead army is still cooler.
I don't think so. I think it's epicer.
Yeah.
But it's not cool. I think seeing the Nazgul call the ring is sick.
Mm-hmm. We're battling two of the best moments in the...
No, we're not.
In the series. I mean, well...
No, I will say not one of the best
him
moments.
Showing up with the undead would be beat by quite a few. But I just... I mean, yeah, I'll give it to the, like...
I don't even think that's...
I'll give it to the, like, importance of the story.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I feel kind of bad. Council.
I stand by that. I think it's a cooler moment, more epic. Maybe epic is a better word to say. I think it's a more epic moment when he shows up with the undead army.
I'm giving you that.
And there's this swell of, like...
I don't think epic means better, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that I see that I think this moment is more crucial. It's more creative. It's a huge impact to what the story will unfold to be for these characters. But this moment is just a little bit more epic in its nature, and it's such a culmination within the battle.
Oh yeah, it's how they win the battle.
Absolutely. That's crazy.
Real quick, does this look like two Batman kissing?
Absolutely.
It does?
It
even on my shirt?
No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't, just because of the Wolverine mouth. If I'm not looking at the Wolverine mouth... I'm kind of
seeing it. I don't know. It looks like it might in the camera. Drop a comment.
Oh, it does kind of in
the camera shot. It totally looks like two Batman sharing them.
Oh my gosh, it does. It looks like they're lip locked.
I know. Whoa.
Dang, dude. I didn't know you were into that.
Ow! All right.
Two Batman same time.
Council of Elrond versus Bilbo slipping on the ring at his birthday.
Man, Council.
I like it. I agree with that.
Specifically because of the couple like dialogue things that you said, it's like, that's too good.
Saruman and Gandalf's fight at Isengard versus You Bow to No One. You bow to no one.
You know which one they didn't have in here so far? And I guess we're not getting it.
I know. I just put that together.
Which one am I thinking of?
When Sam carries Frodo.
That's not the one I'm thinking of, but holy crap, that should absolutely be in this. You know what I'm thinking of?
What?
Gandalf with Balrog. You shall not pass.
Yeah, that one's good too.
That's like a top 4 moment, right?
Why is that not?
Why is that not on this list?
I don't know.
I kept waiting.
We didn't make this. We just found it.
Yeah.
Dang.
That's another. And Sam carrying Frodo. That's top 4.
Yeah.
But that's not what. I mean, we can't put all the moments on the bracket, so that's what makes it fun sometimes.
Oh, wait. Hang on. We're not done yet. I don't know why we've had repeats. Interesting. There's more moments we haven't gotten to. For Frodo, let's start cooking.
Yeah, let's cook through this because we're
all right. For Frodo, Aragorn for Frodo, or Gandalf leading the Riders of Rohan.
For Frodo.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't know why it's doing it like this. There's another row on the right.
Oh.
And it's like getting us down to our one spot, and then we're going to go and dwindle down. I don't know why it's not.
It's two. Oh, I see. It's like 2 conference brackets.
Yeah.
It's like an Eastern Western conference.
Yeah.
So we're working down one, and then it's going to do the other one.
Yeah.
Oh. We can just do the one.
Do you want to split it? Maybe next episode?
Yeah, let's do the other side. Yeah. Because it sounds like there's going to be some cool moments in the other one.
Okay, so then
So just keep cranking down this current bracket.
Okay. Council of Elrond versus the Nazgul on the road in the Shire.
Well, now you've got me all thrown for a loop. That's a little trickier.
It's just to me the Nazgul shot is Peter Jackson showing what's up because he's got the horror background, and it's just, to me, it's like that culmination of that little bit of horror element he's brought to the franchise.
But in the council, I think the dialogue and some of these moments, kind of to the point you made about the Nazgul stuff, is, it's the first time Frodo's, with the ring, and you see the Nazgul, and it's kind of setting up what we're going to experience. The council kind of sets up what we're going to experience with these characters.
Yeah. We're getting introduced to all the characters.
All of them. Their lines tells you so much about how their character is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm what Legolas says tells me everything about how his character is going to be. What Gimli said, like, it sets all of that up. So I'm going to give it to the council.
Yeah. The only negative thing I could say is in the book, it's way more interesting because there's a lot of backstory with the necromancer that we see. If people watch The Hobbit, they would know that. But Sauron, before he was in Mordor, the events, him being a part of certain events.
Yeah.
Also, Gollum being talked about heavily in the Council of Elrond. That's just not in the movie. But I'll give it to the council.
Yeah. Council.
But I do love that scene. For Frodo versus You Bow to No One. They're both great. I think You Bow to No One is a slight edge for Frodo. But For Frodo is a top 5. Easy.
Do I give it to For Frodo, though, just because of what they know, what they think is about to happen? Like, the sacrifice that they're about to make?
No. Because You Bow to No...
You Bow to No One.
You Bow to No One is the heart of story.
Of all of this, yeah. The emotional weight of the sacrifice of For Frodo is so important. But You Bow to No One is that's the soul of this movie. Frick. Yeah, that's going to be it. You Bow to No One.
Council of Elrond versus You Bow to No One. You Bow to No One.
Wow. What a good moment. That makes me emotional thinking about it.
I want to be done. I love talking about Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's so good. We have a whole nother... I think it might be fun to save it, and then we'll pit it at the end.
Okay.
I know. We have been going for a while.
But the first one's so good.
Just give me a teaser for the first one, and then we'll talk about it.
The first one is You're Late. Live it is never late.
Oh, dude.
It's precisely what he means to versus the freaking Eagles showing up.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
That's going to be fun. Let's save it. That's going to be fun. Okay. That'll be a fun topic we'll be excited for that.
All the moments we were talking about being in here.
Are in here? Good. Because I'll be curious to see, because then we'll pit You Bow to No One against whatever the end of this bracket is, come up with an ultimate. That's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I see the winner on here.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I've already told you what the best moment in the whole series is.
Sam carrying, yeah.
In my opinion.
Both You Bow to No One and that are such huge emotional moments in the series.
Sure, but like
it would be a worthy battle.
Those are my two.
Yeah.
That just moment, because everything leading up to that point, and just Frodo betraying Sam and Sam coming back for him, and
yeah, that's just too.
Man.
It'll still be fun, though.
Yeah.
Don't get all emotional on me, man.
It might be one of the best moments in
cinematic history.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody would really argue against that, right?
No.
I mean, I think anybody who loves movies and has watched Lord of the Rings would not argue against that.
And the whole moment before when he's like, I miss the taste of strawberry.
Oh.
I miss the Shire. I can't see it anymore. I can't carry it for you, but I can carry it.
Oh, that's so good. Oh, these movies are so fantastic. It's so incredible. I watched Return of the King a couple months ago, and it's just so good.
I know we're not there yet, but I want to be the first people to come on, us to be the first people to go on Escape Pod and glaze Lord of the Rings, because it's never happened.
Yeah.
They've never had a guest who loves Lord of the Rings as much as we do.
Have they had guests? I'm trying to remember from what I've seen. Have they had any guests who talked about Lord of the Rings? Like, they just said they liked it, or they're like, oh, just fine. Dude, we are gonna blow.
No guest that's gone on there and been like, this is the greatest trilogy of all time.
Wow. Because that's not a hot take. I mean,
no.
I would think a lot of these like film community people would like very much be thinking that. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna go on there and just absolutely just all over that podcast.
Oh, I gotta edit that out. They're cool guys. I want to give it the support. Like they're cool. Like Andrew is always like, no one ever wants to talk about Lord of the Rings. Like,
let's talk.
Let's do it.
That's so fun.
That's what we want to. Yeah.
I think it'd be super fun.
I'm not saying now. I don't want to go on there with 100 YouTube subscribers.
No. Let us gain a little bit more, and then we'll get on there.
Prove our worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think
it'd be fun.
We want to give it the love.
I genuinely like. I mean, we talked about this when you asked the question, like, "What do you want to get out of the podcast?" I genuinely think it would be so fun to collaborate with other creators. I definitely want to see some of those collaborations happen, and so I think it'd be cool. So why not? Let's manifest it.
So next, do you want to do it on Daredevil episode 9? Or do you want to do it for our...
We can. We got to talk about how next week's going to work. But yeah, I think we could do that. Mm-hmm. I think it'd be fun. I'd rather do it sooner than later, just because that was fun.
Yeah. Then we do characters. Or do you think Sam's going to win? See, what's funny is I'll push Gollum further than people think he should be, but he's a great character.
Mm-hmm.
He's a fantastic character. I think a lot of people would be like, Gollum sucks, but that's not the question. It's character.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to say Gollum sucks because of what his character is. Like, they're like, oh, he's so back and forth, betrays him, like all that stuff. But as far as like a character throughout the movies, he's very good. Yeah, characters would be fun.
Yeah.
I think Sam's going to win.
Denethor's a good character. Boromir's a great character.
Yeah.
Sauron's a good character.
Mm-hmm.
There's really not a bad character.
Yeah. That'll be fun, though. We'll see. We'll see if we want to go moments or characters, but I do think we should do more Lord of the Rings stuff because we haven't talked about it a lot.
Yeah, we just need that. You need to finish Rings of Power so we can talk about it.
I do. You know what? I should do that because I really want to talk through what Season 2 is like.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Maybe I'll try.
I was chatting with a guy called me, and he wanted to talk about Rings of Power. Good buddy of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll call him False Woody, which is definitely not his name backwards. But False Woody.
False Woody. That's funny.
That sounds like an anti-penis name. Falsewood.
Falsewood. If it's what I'm thinking of, I've had a lengthy conversation about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, he's a big Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah,
we were talking about Rings of Power this weekekend. I was like, I need to.
Yeah, I got to catch up on that.
I need to talk to someone about. We need to talk about this because I think Rings of Power.
A lot to talk about.
Season 2, there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Sweet. We saw Warfare. We talked some Lord of the Rings.
Yup.
That was fun.
Stay away, Finn Jones.
Stay away, Finn Jones. Yeah, let's clip that.
Yeah.
Stay away from my MCU. Yeah.
Have you seen the original fight choreography for Iron Fist?
Like behind the scenes look, or
what the story coordinators initially came up with?
Is it way better?
you're like actively just gonna hate Iron Fist after like.
I'm gonna YouTube it when I get home.
It's pretty brutal.
That's such a shame. They could have done something really good with that show, but oh well, that's what we got. Sweet. So we've got YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube. We would appreciate the support. We've got TikTok. We've got Instagram. We got a Discord. Pop in the Discord. Join the community. We're having some fun conversations there. And next week is Daredevil Born Again, Episode 9, season finale. I'm so pumped for it. We're going to be talking about that. And maybe some upcoming movies. We got Sinners coming out soon. Very curious about that. Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan. And we got a long docket coming in the summer, honestly. We're just going to be cranking out movies. But yeah. Superman's coming up a couple months away. 3 months away. It's July, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
April, May, June. Yeah. But yeah, once we we've honestly hit the ground running already. Like we're in a season where we're just going to be getting a lot of stuff. So yeah, follow us. We love the support. It's been awesome to see TikTok growing already. We're approaching 800. We're over 700, or we're just over 700 now.
750.
We're at 750. Yeah. So we're approaching 800. So really cool to see. We're growing, having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. We want to talk about Lord of the Rings a lot. So
yeah,
people should definitely throw in topics, suggestions for ideas.
Absolutely.
As someone did ask us to talk about Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that more.
Yeah.
But I did ask you that question last episode just to get that out of the way. But there's a lot we need to do. There's a lot we've been asked to do. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We just need to extrapolate some of those and throw them into segments. Even if it's just short
ideas.
Segment ideas would be great, yeah. Because we've got a couple that we really like, and we've toyed around with other ones, so we're trying to kind of find something that's fun to do.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good Friday.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your weekend.
And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
That's a wrap, baby.